Hello, my awesome third graders. We had a great day in class today, and now your homework is just to watch this video, complete the activities in it, and bring to class tomorrow your filled out video outline. So, what we're going to be talking about tonight is poetry, and more specifically, three parts of poetry. First is going to be pace. Then, we're going to talk about timbre. And then lastly, we're going to finish off with rhythm. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, learn lots, and come to class tomorrow prepared and ready to learn. Alright guys, so now we're just going to jump right into it. But before we start off, I want you to watch this video with me.
The worm that wouldn't wiggle. Although I am a worm, I never used to wiggle, 'cause when my tummy rubbed the floor, it always made me giggle. I couldn't make it half a yard before I had to stop, 'cause I was laughing very hard. Exhausted, I would flop. I'd lay down on the comfy grass beneath a shady flower and recover from my giggle fit. It took me half an hour. My mum was quite unhappy. My friends, they used to mock. Oh, until I had a jumper made, well, okay, more a sock. Now, when I wear my wiggle sock and slide about the floor, I do not get a tickle on my tummy anymore. I can wiggle to the shops and back. My friends no longer scoff. And when I want to giggle, I just take my jumper off.
So, what do you guys think that has to do with anything with poetry? Think about it for just a minute. So, what I want you guys to be able to do today is to read a poem fluidly so that your audience can understand what you're saying, and also to record your poem and turn it into a presentation for others to watch. Now, the worm that couldn't wiggle was a really good example of this because he created pictures that were funny and fun to look at while still reading a poem in a way that we as the audience could understand. So, before we are able to do this though, we need to cover some things about reading out loud. First is pace. Listen to me while I read this passage real quick. On Christmas Eve many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound. A friend had told me I'd never hear ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There's no Santa, my friend insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Now, was that kind of hard to listen to? I'm sure it was. Let me try again. On Christmas Eve many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I'm sure that's as painful for you to listen to as it is for me to read like that. See, as an audience, it's no fun to listen to somebody who reads either too quickly or too slowly. So, we don't want to read too fast, but we don't want to read too slow. We want to read at a conversational pace. And a conversational pace is just at the same speed that you would talk at, talking with your friends, or even what I'm talking like in this lesson right now. Next, I want to talk about timbre. And I know that word looks kind of funny and it sounds a lot, or you would read it like timbre, but I can assure you it's pronounced timbre. And this has to do with music, but it also has to do with our voice and the way that we present our voice. So, on the left is a picture of gravel because, for example, a really gravelly voice, one that you can't really understand, or one that you can't really understand, is hard to listen to. But on the other hand, if you have a high squeaky voice like a mouse, that's not any fun to listen to either. So, in your timbre, you want to make sure that you have just a pleasant voice with a good pace, we can't forget that, that's easy to listen to and easy to understand. Lastly, is this concept of rhythm. So, when you think of rhythm, you think of music, and more specifically, I think of percussion and drum beats. But this also extends into reading poetry, because if you read a poem just really flat and you have no inflections in your voice, and you read it all at the same speed, it sounds really boring. So what you want to be sure to do is you want to read by varying your voice so that others can hear you. So we're going to follow this link and watch a video real quickly about rhythm. And it has to do with music, but keep in mind how you can maybe use this in your future when we're talking about poems.
Repeat after me, please. Repeat after me, please. Thank you. Thank you. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Long and short sound. Long and short sounds. This is a whole note. This is a whole note. Ta. Ta. This is a half note. This is a half note. Ta. 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 This is a quarter note. This is a quarter note. Ta. 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 This is a pair of eighth notes. This is a pair of eighth notes. T. 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 Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Long and short sound. Long and short sounds. End of repeat, please. End of repeat, please. Thank you. You're welcome.
Now, that guy had some pretty good rhythm, I will say. How do you think that he could have used that in poetry? Take just a second to think about this. Now, just listen to the poem that I'm about to read you. Oh, I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor, a boa constrictor. I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor, and I don't like it one bit. Well, what do you know? It's nibbling on my toe. Oh, gee, it's up to my knee. Oh, my, it's up to my thigh. Oh, fiddle, it's up to my middle. Oh, heck, it's up to my neck. Oh, dread, it's What did you guys notice about me when I was reading the poem? I was able to change my pace, especially towards the end. I got a little faster because the snake started eating the person, so that's always fun, and you would probably get kind of nervous if you were being eaten by a boa constrictor. I also made sure that my timbre was pleasant to listen to, so I didn't have a super low voice that's hard to understand, or a super high voice that you can't really understand either. So, make sure that when you guys pick your poems, you're doing just the same thing. I would love for you to come to class tomorrow with some poems in mind. So, follow this link on your own time tonight and try and find a couple of poems that you think you might like to read and create a little presentation about. Here's what this website looks like. As you can see that there are tons of poems to look through. Basketball is my favorite sport. The Armpit of Doom. For my brother on his birthday. That explains it. Dear Santa, did you get my tweet? All of these look really fun. Let's choose one just to check out. I'm kind of liking the Armpit of Doom. It reads, Today I walked into my brother's room, and that's when I saw it, the Armpit of Doom. I wasn't expecting the armpit at all. I shrieked and fell backward and grabbed for the wall. The armpit was smelly, the armpit was hairy, the armpit was truly disgusting and scary. I wanted to vomit, I wanted to cry, I wanted to flee from its all-seeing eye. My skin started crawling with goosebumps and chills. My brain began screaming to head for the hills. I tried to escape, but I knew I could not. In horror, I found I was glued to the spot. Will somebody help me? I started to shout, till fumes overcame me and made me pass out. And that's why I'm here in this hospital room. It's all on account of the Armpit of Doom. I'm still feeling shaken, I'm queasy and pale, but lucky I lived, and I can tell you my tale. So take my advice. If you ever go near your big brother's room, bring a whole lot of gear, or maybe a spacesuit that's perfectly sealed. And then, only then, when you're fully prepared, step in very slowly and hope you'll be spared. But if you're afraid of the Armpit of Doom, stay far away from your big brother's room. So, as you can see, there's some pretty cool poems that you guys can look up. Love for you to look through a few of these and come to class with a couple of ideas of ones that you might like to read out loud and do your presentation on. Tomorrow in class, we're going to record our poems on the iPods, and then we're going to use either WeVideo or iMovie to create the presentation. And what I expect from those presentations are just your voice recording of the poem and then some videos or pictures of things that pertain to your poem, just like The Worm That Couldn't Wiggle. He had different pictures representing different parts of the poem that he was talking about. Okay, so get these things done, and don't forget to fill out your video outline and bring that to class all completed tomorrow. If you were not in class today but you're watching this lesson, here's the outline of the video that I would like for you to fill out. You can copy it on a loose leaf piece of paper and just bring it to class tomorrow completed. And for that very last question, just to make sure that you watch the whole video, I want the answer to be a wombat. I'll say it one more time, a wombat. Okay, so come to class tomorrow prepared with some poems in mind that you might like to read, and also your filled out video outline. Thanks guys, and enjoy the rest of your night.